There we go.
Oh, well, that's it?
Yep.
Okay, it looks like it needs to be higher, though.
No, it's okay. It's alright. Yeah.
Well, yes, your work there.
Okay, here's the question. These are World War II questions.
World War II.
Do you remember what you were doing when you heard about the attack?
You gonna do like you did my mom?
Oh, yeah.
Heard about what?
Okay, wait, here. We're going to start. Okay. What is your full name?
Oh, Kerry Gandhi Sims. Hey.
What year were you born?
1924.
Where were you born and raised?
The Darlington County, South Carolina. I was born out in the country. Wasn't no town. The smallest town near me was Dubsville, D-O-V-E-S, Dubsville, and that was I guess it must be about 5 miles from where I was born from. I was born out in the rural section, I guess. Because the place he calls the Big Street. I think that time the Big Street used to be a street out in the middle of the country where the slaves, most of the slaves had residence, and the people in charge of the slave, the masters they call them, I think, they were up near the big house, they call it, near the road, and the slaves in the street come off from the road, and they call that the Big Street. I think I know about 5 or 6 houses, I think, back there on that, including the people that are in charge, yeah.
Okay, next question. How old are you now?
88.
Okay, our first question is, let's see, okay. Do you remember what you were doing when you heard about the attack on Pearl Harbor?
Yes. Me and my wife, we weren't married at that time. We were coming from the theater, coming out in the movie. We was coming out, and then Pearl Harbor was attacked. All I said, now, where is Pearl Harbor? I didn't know where Pearl Harbor was. I mean, all I know is Pearl Harbor was attacked. I didn't know what that had to do with the United States and everything, and that's what it was. We heard people circle the news, the newspapers out, and Pearl Harbor was attacked. And we didn't know where Pearl Harbor was, and then that surprised the both of us.
Right.
She asked me, and I'd ask her, and she didn't know, and I didn't know. So finally, we found out where it was. That's out in the Pacific, Southwest Pacific.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I was drafted.
And where were you living at the time?
I was in school, college. I was at Payne College in Georgia. You call it Payne College near Augusta, Georgia. That's where I was. That's when they sent me my introduction papers. I had to go in service.
Right.
Yes, that's the way I was at the time.
Okay.
I was in 1943. Yeah.
Okay. Why did you join?
I was drafted.
Yeah,
I was drafted.
Yeah,
You got there. You see, when you're drafted, you're supposed to, unless you'll be a conscientious objector, you go in the service. You just go in the service if you take examination.
Right.
When you go down there, if you pass the examination, you go in the service. There's a rule, yeah. Of course, I wasn't the only one. My brother was in the Marine. He was in the Marine Corps, right? And that's where we went in the first time. I was the first one. We were one of the first black Marines there was. Yeah, it was in 1943. He went in 1942. My brother, he's older, about 2 years older than I was.
Right.
And I went in 1943.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you recall the first days in service?
First days?
In service.
Yeah, in boot camp. I didn't recall that. That was in.
What did it feel like? What did it feel like?
You had to be on your P's and Q's. That's the if anybody tell you about the boot camp, you go in. You had a special badge behind you. We had the Marine Corps emblem up here. We had a tag behind that. That's when you were boot. and you had to run everywhere you go. You couldn't, you didn't have, you can't lollygag. You had to run. Be going somewhere. If you only way you get back in your barrier. That's the only place you could have some relax. But other than that, you got to run. You got to go. Any errands you got to go on, anything, anywhere you got to go, you got to run. All run, going, and run, coming back. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
It was very strict on that.
Are you willing to share your most memorable experience there? Most memorable.
While I was in the service, well, I guess that was when we invaded Guam. I was on an invasion of Guam. That's the U.S. Hill Island. Yeah, Guam, Guam. We've been in. I was in the invasion of that, but actually, we was out in the Pacific because I know they got a lot of islands out there.
Right.
And we circled around Guam because they had a lot of problems down there on Saipan, which was a Japanese Hill Island. They did, and we might have to go in at Saipan, but we didn't go in. But we went to we lost a lot of time and supplies out there circling around till we had to go back to one of the islands out there called Kwajalein Islands, and we went back there and got the supplies. We had to come back to invade Guam. Then that's on reason. That's the most
Let's see the next one. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Not in the service. Not while I was in the service. No.
Okay, but you got them later on.
Yes. Well, just last year I got the Congressional Gold Medal. I got it last year. I received that last June 28th, I think. 28th of June last 2012. And that way I got that Congressional Gold Medal. A lot of people see what happened was they passed it had to be passed in Congress that we should get that. So what happened was they passed it. The reason we got it was we were segregated against because I say I was one of the first black Marines. See, when they wouldn't accept us down with the regular place where they accept the Marines was Parrish Island, South Carolina. That's the one, and actually a place at Camp Pendleton, I think in San Diego, California. There was the places they accept the Marines. They wouldn't accept us down there. They only accept us at North Carolina, Muffler Point, North Carolina, who's Jacksonville, the smallest town near there, Jacksonville, North Carolina, and they call it, and then Muffler Point. That's where the black Marines went in. At the time I went in, they wouldn't accept us into the regular Marine Corps where they take troops at, go to have boot camp. We had to have our boot camp down in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
It's separate.
Yeah.
How did you stay in touch with your family?
Oh, mostly about communicating, mostly about writing. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
What was the food like?
Oh, they fed me well. Yeah, because they doing. That's one thing. You fed well. Yeah.
Did you?
But they would eliminate have candy and stuff like that. Yeah. So and then cigarettes and stuff like that.
Right.
Because you in boot camp, you supposed to be. You once you had to get in your way, of training. So that was the only restriction most they had before was they was real strict on that because they said candy wasn't good for you when you. Yeah, that's right. When you're training,
did you have plenty of supplies there? Supplies.
Yeah, those supplies you needed. When you're training, they usually have everything there. All around, those down there. I don't know if you've never been down there. A lot of rivers and stuff. Like I think some place they call it New River right there. New River, North Carolina. Right. And they had rivers all around in the Camp Lejeune. Camp Lejeune is a big place. In fact, that's where your brother is now. He down there. He's a part of it. Cherry Point.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, Cherry Point was the first place I went to. When I was in high school, the truck came to my town, the town near Darlington, where I was that's the city where I was near, with the biggest cities, where the Doves were, they never come. That's the one. Dove was just one street. Well, I know of, I can remember, yeah. But Darlington was the biggest town near there, and I was there, and that's when I was driving from there. They came down there with a truck, and they said, want a job. I said, well, it's in the summertime, and I was still in high school. So I said, yeah, I want to go. But I went up there, I went to the Cherry Point. When I got there, they told me I wasn't big enough. Yeah, you had to put some more weight on it. So what we did, we coming back in the place we got off in Wilmington, North Carolina. We jumped off the truck. And we got over there, and that's where we stopped. Me and my neighbor, named James Taylor. We got a jump off the truck in Wilmington, North Carolina. And we stayed and we got a job there. We working up there. And it's rough on me. I mean, I'm a little guy, and it's kind of small anyway. And I had to push a wheelbarrow and I had to go way up a ramp. And that ramp, I got up there some kind of way. I got up there and I kept the job till they got a job out at Camp Davis, is near Wilmington, North Carolina. And they had work out there. So we went out there. They had just unloading truck. I mean, the big box cars when the train bring the box cars, lumber and stuff back to building the camp and stuff. They had to take that lumber. We go and take the lumber off the truck and load and place it where they wanted to place it. And then, because they stock it up around the place there, because they'd be doing building around there. That during the time of the war, But me, I'm still in school, But that's the job. I stayed there all summer, and I did pretty good that summer. Yeah.
Was there something special you did for good luck?
Getting up?
No, for good luck.
Oh, good luck. No, I just try to do what I had to do to keep my job. One thing, because you're away from home and you ain't got no money. You gotta do things you wouldn't do ordinarily. You know what I mean?
Right. How did people entertain themselves during World War II? Like, were there entertainers that entertained you guys?
I can't recall much of entertainment.
Did you guys,
not
play
especially
cards? Did you guys
oh yeah.